Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 6 minutes after 10 o'clock, Matt Gibbs is in the studio and ready to answer your questions. It's live, by the way, on Memorial Day. I wasn't sure if we were going to have Matt in the studio or play a rerun. Matt's here to answer your questions about your car and your truck and other things that run with engines and transmissions. The show is called Auto Repair with Personal Care, and he's the owner of Sunrise Automotive here in Ocala. And as Robin pointed out, he's wearing shorts today. So. See, women notice when you show your leg. We don't think women notice that, but they do, right? The phone number to call Matt right now is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-WOCA. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, Larry.
What are you doing today? How come you came in? You working today?
No, I'm not working today.
Oh, you just because the radio's fun, right?
Yeah, well, it's a responsibility.
There you go.
You know, I have a show to do on Mondays at 10.
There you go. That's exactly right, yeah. So are you doing anything special today?
Yeah, as soon as we're done with the show, I'm heading out to the lake.
Which lake are you going to?
We're going out to Lake Griffin.
Do you have a boat?
Yes, we do.
Lake Griffin. Oh, that's down in Leesburg?
Leesburg, yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, we're going to go down there and barbecue and just hang out and put the kids on the tube and let them have some fun out in the water.
In order to have this, again, coming from ignorance, just so you know, in order to drive a boat, first of all, do you call it driving?
Operating.
Operating. In order to operate a boat, do you have to have lessons?
You don't have to have lessons.
You have to have a license?
You should no license. But you should. You have to be 16 or older, I believe it is, to operate any kind of watercraft.
Right.
But you should have lessons if you don't know how.
So you have a big boat, or?
We have a pontoon boat.
Oh, pontoon boat.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Hey, Joey, he's our captain. He operates the boat.
He operates it. Do you actually cook on the boat?
No, we have some really good friends that have a house right there on the water, and that's where we keep the boat. And we just go down there and we'll cook it on his, at his house and take the boat out and go for a while.
Do you fish while you're out there?
Yeah, well, we do. Today's probably not going to be a good fishing day because the kids want to ski and tube and do all that kind of stuff.
Ski behind a pontoon boat?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll hydroslide. We can run a hydroslide behind a pontoon boat.
Okay. But you have another boat, obviously, for skiing.
No, I do, but it's not there. It's not my boat. It's just a boat that we have access to.
Oh, it's just somebody's boat.
Yeah, we You
have a key?
Yeah, we found this boat one day sitting on the side of the
road. Are you good at skiing?
No, my wife is really good at skiing.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty good at hydrosliding and stuff, though.
Now, do you have to know how to operate a boat to pull a skier? Is there a skill to that?
Yeah, there really is.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what might I do wrong if I was pulling a skier?
You might go too fast or not go fast enough, or,
Do you always need a third person? Like somebody can tell the driver what's going on?
Well, you should always have somebody in the boat watching whoever's on the skis for safety. If you're driving the boat and they fall, how do you, you need someone to tap you on the shoulder and say, go get him.
Yeah. You know what I would be worried about? And again, maybe this is just coming from ignorance, but I would be worried about the water levels being low and things being close to the surface that you don't see, like wood or something.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
So how do you know? I mean,
you stay, get out in the middle of the lake where, it's not an issue. Yeah. When I was a kid growing up, we used to run along the sides of the lake, try to, be close to the docks and stuff. That was kind of stupid.
You broke the rules.
Yeah, we broke some rules.
Now, I've known people who were pretty good at letting go and then literally going up onto the beach itself. You ever do that?
No.
See, that looks like it could be trouble waiting to happen, too.
On a hydroslide, if they whip me in there pretty good, I can get in waist-deep water. I never did make it all the way. I was too fat, I guess.
So bringing it around to repairing engines, do you ever have anybody bring you a boat?
Yeah, I have a couple people that I'll do some things to a boat.
And is it something you'd rather not do? Is it?
Well, it's
Harder? Or is it?
it's not harder. It's just it's different. And when things are different, if I have the information, I'd much rather work on a boat that had an inboard outboard, like have an outdrive, because typically they have an automotive engine.
Okay, so it's more like a car.
So it's got an automotive engine,
Okay.
and then it has an outdrive. And we've gone in and replaced bearings in the outdrives and done motor work on boats, because fixing a motor in a boat and fixing a motor in a car, the motor's the motor.
Can you tell by this? Everybody, Robin, Doug, everybody can say that's a Harley just by listening to it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's maybe a sound that's really unique. But can you, with your automotive experience, identify other engines just by hearing them?
Well, back in the day, the old Chryslers, you knew it was a Chrysler
Really?
when they were starting up. The way that they started.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there's some.
What did it sound like?
It had it had that gear reduction whiny starter back in the days, and you're like, wow.
Is that it, or the other ones have any distinct sounds?
Well, some of them, like a lot of the Japanese motors, it's a Japanese motor, Honda, Toyota kind of thing running.
Higher pitch?
Yeah, they're a higher pitch. They have a awful exhaust sound.
There was a story I read in Songwriter magazine. I know you're into music as well, but this combines music and cars. There was a story about a judge who let somebody go. He was in for a speeding ticket, and the judge had this principle, I guess, that if somebody came in with a speeding ticket and told him a story he had never heard before, then he would let him go, even if he didn't believe it. If it was a new story, he'd let him go. So this guy came in and he told the judge, I was not speeding. And the judge says, now, what makes you say? Because I have perfect pitch. I'm a musician. I have perfect pitch, and I know that when I'm driving 55, my car is going the note of A, the key of A, 440, whatever, okay? And it was going A when the policeman stopped me, so I know I wasn't speeding. So the judge let him go. Now, I don't have perfect pitch. I cannot. You can play any note on a piano, and I don't know what the heck it is. Are you good at that? Can you do perfect pitch?
No.
So, I mean, I have a hard time with that one. The judge probably didn't believe him, but because it was a new story, he let him go.
I can, you know what though? I mean, I can see that. I can see it.
Yeah,
I might not. I wouldn't be able to hear it, but I could see it.
You can understand it.
I can understand it.
Yeah.
Because everything creates, a frequency. So while you're driving down,
could
the
you
road,
hum an A? Could you just hum?
No, I can't hum an A. I could give you a beat to it.
Can you harmony?
Yeah, my vocal skills are not. Not well.
Robin, I just saw her walk past the window, but yesterday she and her husband went down to Tampa, which is where their daughter lives, because she was going to come up for the honor flight thing that we did yesterday, the movie. But her car stopped working, and apparently had a short in the headlight that caused the battery to run dry, or to go dead. Have you ever heard of that before?
Well, what kind of car is it?
Oh boy, wait till she gets back. See, I knew that I probably should have waited. But a short in the headlight caused the battery to go dead, and then I guess there was some other problems too. But that was the main thing right there. She couldn't start it.
Well, a lot of the cars, I had it. As a matter of fact, I have it on the shelf. I was going to bring it in a couple weeks ago, and I don't know why I forgot. But I had it was a Grand Marquis. It was for one of the Robert's Funeral Home. I service all their vehicles, and one of the guys, he was driving down. He said, "My headlights just shut off," and I'm just driving down the road and the headlights shut off. And you think, well,
that's what happened to my car. Remember?
Yeah. This is completely different. And this has a headlight control module. And I was going to bring it in just to show you the size of this module that is in this Ford Grand Marquis to operate the headlights.
The size of a battery? How big?
It's a huge box.
Bigger than a battery, it looks like.
Well, it's not really taller and thicker than a battery, but it's a module.
I guess so. Like a tray in a tackle box?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's underneath the dash, and it's just that thing could short out.
Yeah.
And you would say that the headlight has an issue and it caused the battery to go, but it really wasn't had to do anything with the headlights because the headlights are it's just a bulb.
It's a real science now, working on cars. I mean, it always was a science in the technical sense of what a science is, but a mechanic is not just a mechanic anymore. I mean, you literally have to know something about technology.
Yeah, well, a mechanic is still a mechanic, but a technician is something completely different. And that's where we evolved. We evolved that it took a mechanic to fix the car. Now it takes, on certain things, it requires a mechanic. On certain things, it requires a technician. Somebody that's technically minded.
So a mechanic who's also a technician
is a rare bird.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not common.
Actually, I'm looking for a technician now.
Who can be a mechanic?
Well, I would say that a technician, an automotive technician, is a mechanic, but just a higher level.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? And a mechanic is just a mechanic. And I'm looking for a technician now. And it's been almost impossible.
Now,
it is impossible.
Is that what the schools are training the mechanics technicians to be? Is both?
Well,
like, where would you find something like that? Does the school pump out graduates all the time that are anxious to find work?
They do, but they're not technicians yet.
Oh.
I was at a graduation party last night. One of my daughter's friends, my daughter's a senior, and she's graduating, and this is one of her friends that she grew up with, and her dad's a doctor, and they're expanding their offices, and we were talking, and he's like, trying to find qualified help in the medical field right now. He said it's almost impossible. You know, you can get the people right out of school, but there's a certain life experiences that you can't learn.
Well, that's the catch-22 thing.
Yeah.
You want to hire somebody who has experience, but they're never going to get experience until somebody hires them.
But I need to at least have somebody that has that experience, and then maybe hire somebody that doesn't, so that they can.
So that's where the schools need to. They need to have these, what do you call it, apprentice programs or something,
or like internships or something.
Yeah,
you know. And we have the school where the old Forest High School used to be, the MTI school,
right.
And I did get involved with that for a little bit, and my company is not geared up to be it's not a teaching institution.
Yeah, right.
You know, and it's different in itself.
You need somebody ready.
I need somebody that is.
So there's the catch-22, because they need to have worked somewhere else before they can work for you.
Well, seeing like what I did was I went and worked for the dealer. I went and worked on the GM side, and and that's where I got my experience. But I also have something that God gave me, a talent, an ability to be able to.
So is the guy who is in his backyard working on cars all the time more likely to be that person? Like, just like it was when we were kids. The guys who were working on cars all the time without any education, they just did it because they loved doing it. They ended up getting the formal education that made them become the mechanics of when we were kids in the 70s or whatever.
Yeah, it's a passion. It's something inside of you that, you know.
So that kid is still there today. He's still out there.
Yes, but what I'm seeing, is that those people that I'm seeking after, that person that I'm seeking after, seems to me like they're going into on the computer end of it. That if they're technically minded, they're going into the computer side of it, the electronic side of it, and leaving out the mechanical side, you know, of like, let's just say the automotive.
Wow, that's kind of an important part.
Yeah.
I
mean, you know, if I was, let's say 20 years younger today, would cars be the thing that I'm going after, or would the computers and the electronics? And, you know, when you stop and think about it, you know, those guys don't have to get greasy and dirty and sweat and be in the hot. They can work inside the air conditioning. They can stay clean. They don't have to deal with oil. They don't have to deal with grease and dirt.
True, yeah.
You know,
I see what you're saying, yeah.
And they still fulfill that passion that's within them.
So are we finding a shortage of people who want to do the work that's required for cars?
What's
the solution? Would be money. It has to be. If we pay them enough, they will come.
In Ocala and
that's going to be the issue.
You know what I'm saying? We can only do what we can do.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
I know. Well, and then we as the customers, we have to accept that you're hiring a professional who's really got a skill, the same way you're hiring a doctor. So you have to accept the fact that you're not going to be able to have that service if you don't pay for it.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the catch on.
It's
like, I would say, I don't know if everybody else would say, but I would say that I give an opportunity. Let's just say you came in. I'm looking for a technician. You came in, and we're going to interview. One of the questions that I ask is financial. A financial question is, what are your needs? Because see, in working on cars and in the automotive industry, you don't get paid by the hour; you get paid by the job.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right.
So, one of the questions that I ask is, what are your needs? And I ask him, I need to know an honest answer. What are your needs? And if they say my need is I need $500 a week, boom, within seconds I can tell them what they need to do in order to meet their need.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, and I'll tell them too, and I said, I know you have wants, but it's not my job to meet your want. It's my job to be able to meet your need. It's your job for you to meet your wants. And some of these guys can make, if you're a really good technician, there's no reason why you can't make over $50,000, $60,000 a year.
Okay, but what if the kid says, I'm being hard,
You're being hard on
I'm
me?
being obstinate? What's the word? I'm trying to be difficult here. What if the kid comes in and says, well, this is what I need, but I want to get married and then raise a family. And when that happens, then I'm going to need the money to pay for all of that. So then the future need is associated with my want.
Well, then we got to then I would honestly, if that's a great question, and if you asked me that question, I would say, well, let's find out where you are right now.
Yeah, right.
And I've been doing this for a long time, and I know that if you have the potential to get from here to there.
Yeah, and you can help guide them.
And I can help.
And you've done this, right? I mean, you've actually been like a father figure. I don't know if that's a good word there, but you know what I mean. You've helped.
I've helped. There's 4 other garages in town that they started with me.
Mentor,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful, and I know that about you actually, and I know that you see that beautiful thing of progression of human life, and that's what I think we've all come to know and love about you, Matt. Let's go to the phone. You've got the phone's ringing here. Good morning. You're on there with Matt.
Yeah, good morning. When I was much younger and, just getting my first jobs, I would speak to the personnel person and, they wanted to know how much money I wanted. And I said, well, I'm as much of an unknown quantity to you as your company is to me. So I'll defer to you, and then we'll talk again in 90 days if I'm worth it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Because you're smarter than the average bear, too, so you knew to answer that way.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.
You ever get somebody say that? You ever get somebody who actually knows that about the whole relationship?
Yeah.
Yep. Good morning, you're on there with Matt.
A quick question. Hi, Matt. This is Kathy. Hi, Larry.
Kathy.
Happy Memorial Day
Same
to
to you.
both. That doctor you were talking about, is he looking for just medical help, or is he looking for... I know someone that's a wonderful biller that's looking for a change in job.
Yeah, well, I supposedly he's looking for all sorts of help. Clerical staff, nurses, PAs.
Wonderful. Can we talk off the air and you tell me who that is?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Kathy Cole. Noel.
Yes.
Grandmother. How are we going to? Let's see.
Just call back in 5 minutes, okay, Kathy?
Okay, I will.
Once the show is over, then you just call back and you'll be able to speak off the air, okay?
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, see? That helps. Radio works, right? Robert, are you there? Yeah. Can you come in and tell Matt about Shannon's headlight? Because when you went to the mailbox, I told him that you had that issue with the headlight drained the battery or something like that.
Oh, yeah, Shannon's taillights kept coming on and off, and they drained her battery, and it just drained down to the point of nothing, where her battery was totally dead. So she had it towed and took it in, and they saw that the battery was totally dead, so she bought a new one. There was also some kind of sensor on there that they had to replace, so... But she's okay now. They took it in yesterday. They towed it in, and she's all up and running.
And the serendipity was there was a worn tire that she would have been driving all the way to Ocala on had she not taken it in, right?
Yeah, it was all shredded. The tire was shredded.
Oh, wow.
And
there
then
you go.
and then something was leaking. Some kind of gasket was leaking, so they fixed that too. So thank God for God.
Thank God for God. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Hi, Matt. Thank you for sharing your Memorial Day weekend with us.
Yes, no problem.
Enjoy your program and everything about your services. A quickie, did you get a chance to watch the 500 yesterday?
No, I did not.
You didn't?
No.
I just was wondering maybe what your opinion would be. I hate that when they have a finish on a yellow. There's 4 laps to go. There's 3-4 cars in contention. Somebody spins out where we're on the track. So everything goes right to, they keep counting the laps under yellow, and then it's a white, yellow, and then a checker. I just don't like that. I wish they had just stopped counting laps whenever the yellow's dropped, and then go back to green and finish up with the 4 laps under green, But it kind of spoils the whole race. That's my opinion about it anyways. I don't know. I don't think like on the small track stuff that you're involved with, they do that. They probably don't count those laps, right?
No, actually, they do not count our caution laps. No.
Yeah. Well, I wish they would do that in Indy racing, so make it more interesting.
I did see the finish. So it looked like it was a pretty exciting race, and then you had the Coca-Cola 600 on. And
oh God, yeah.
Then you had the finals for the basketball game, and then we had graduation stuff. So
right. It was hard for me to get to sleep last night. I had all this stuff in my mind. Basketballs are bouncing around, and my head was spinning from race cars. I'm just starting to slow down now, and I'm going to have a nice quiet day today.
There you go.
Okay, nice talking to you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye now.
And I have another phone call. Good morning. You're on there with Matt.
Good morning. I have a 2011 Ford Explorer EcoBoost engine. I read something about this in the paper, and I've been thinking about going to the dealer. It is still under warranty, but I get a shudder when I'm going up a hill at about 45 miles an hour. Low RPMs, not under any kind of load. And I'm pretty attuned to engines, so I feel this is not right. And I'm just curious to what you would suggest.
Yeah, definitely take it over to the dealer, and and if you have to drive it a bit, if it does it more when it's warmer or whatever the condition is, that you do your homework, try to figure out exactly what you're doing when it happens. With the new EcoBoost, it's a fairly new system that Ford's come out with. It's probably going to have some glitches. More than likely, in my opinion, probably what they're going to end up doing is coming out with a new program for the computer.
Oh, okay.
And there may be something like with the TCC, which is your torque converter clutch system, or it might be running a little bit too lean at that certain condition, or they'll get a hold of it. You might have to have a little patience with them because this is a fairly new system, but they'll more than likely they're going to come out with some kind of a reflash or reprogramming for your computer system to take care of that problem.
All right. I did read that there was somebody that was already addressing this and actually created some kind of suit against Ford about that. And Ford has, acknowledged the problem, but they haven't come out with any fix for it yet. But
yeah, typically it takes them a while to really come down because they what we feel, in a car sometimes is it's like you feel that, just fix that, and sometimes that's a major deal, it's because a lot of times it is in the programming.
Okay, yeah. My first impression was it might have been a transmission issue, but I'm not a mechanic. I just play one on the weekends.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. It sounds like a TCC issue. Just listening to you talk about it, which is torque converter clutch, and it just may be that the torque converter disengages a little bit sooner, or that load right there is on the threshold of it, causing you a problem, which probably really isn't a problem, but you just don't like the way it feels, that makes it a problem.
Yes. And for me, I got 25,000 miles. Is it good to get it documented so that they're aware that I have this issue?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're
Have
welcome.
a good day.
Thank you. Matt, would you mind if I close the show with a different song than you normally use?
No, that's fine.
Are you familiar with the song Riding with Private Malone?
No, I've heard you talk about it.
Ah, good, because I'm going to show it to you. Ready? All right. What's your phone number before I do this?
Okay, my phone number is 690-1993.
Okay, now listen to and call us if you need that. And Kathy, call, but give Matt a chance to hear some of this song anyway. Listen to this song. This is called Riding with Private Malone. It's by a guy named David Ball. All right. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Larry.
Here we go. Do I hear it on here? Where is it? Here it is.
I was just out of the service, thumbing through the classifieds, when an ad that said old Chevy somehow caught my eye. The lady didn't know the year or even if it ran, but I had that $1,000 in my hand. It was way back in the corner of this old brown shackle barn, with 30 years of dust and dirt on that green army tarp. And when I pulled the cover off, it took away my breath. What you called a Chevy was a '66 Corvette. And I felt a little guilty as I counted out the bills. What a thrill I got when I sat behind the wheel. I opened up the glove box and that's when I found the note. The date was 1966 and this is what he wrote. He said, my name is Private Andrew Malone, and if you're reading this, then I didn't make it home. But for every dream that shattered, another one comes true. This car was once a dream of mine, now it belongs to you. Though you may take her and make her your own, you'll always be riding with Private Malone. Well, it didn't take me long at all, I had her running good. I love to hear those horses thunder underneath her hood. I had her shining like a diamond and I'd put the rag top down. All the pretty girls would stop and stare as I drove her through town. Buttons on the radio didn't seem to work quite right, but it picked up that oldie show, especially late at night. I get the feeling sometimes if I turn real quick I'd see a soldier riding shotgun in the seat right next to me. It was a young man named Private Andrew Malone, who fought for his country and never made it home. But for every dream that shattered, another one comes true. This car was once a dream of his back when it was new. He told me to take her and make her my own. And I was proud to be riding with Private Malone. But one night it was raining hard, I took the curve too fast. I still don't remember much about that fiery crash. Someone said they thought they saw a soldier pull me out. Didn't get his name, but I know without a doubt it was a young man named Private Andrew Malone, who fought for his country and never made it home. But for every dream that shattered, another one. This car was once a dream of his back when it was. And I know I wouldn't be here if he hadn't tagged along. Oh, thank God I was right.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida. For today, Memorial Day, partly sunny with low humidity. The high 82 on the coast, 88 well inland. Partly cloudy tonight, low 66 in a few inland spots, 74 along the coast. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds with an afternoon shower with thunderstorm in spots, high 84 on the coast, 90 inland. Wednesday, partly sunny and breezy with a shower with thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 84 along the coast, 90 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.